Kathy Freeman, Professor Emerita at The Ohio State University and President of USBBY. I am happy to welcome you to the annual members meeting of USBBY. We are so pleased that over 140 people have registered for this event. Our annual meeting this year was originally scheduled to be held at the NCTE Annual Convention in Denver, which, as you know, has now become virtual. In this time of COVID, we also are hosting a virtual meeting, and we are so grateful to have you with us. The brief business meeting will be followed by a very special program to launch the 2021 International Children's Book Day poster, created for the International Board on Books for Young People by USBBY. USBBY is one of 81 national sections that comprise the International Board on Books for Young People, based in Basel, Switzerland. This international network, founded by Jelle Lettmann in Germany after World War II, seeks to promote international peace and understanding through children's books. USBBY has 4 national sections that are twinning partners: Lebanon, Haiti, El Salvador, and Palestine. USBBY pays the dues of these national sections so they can be members of IBY. Without our assistance, their membership in IBY would not be possible. During the summer, USBBY had a matching challenge from 2 anonymous donors to raise money to support these underfunded national sections. We surpassed our goal and thank those of you who generously contributed to the success of this campaign. All of our twinning partners have children in crisis and provide books to children and reading promotion projects amidst very dire circumstances. You can contribute to support the efforts of these national sections by contributing to the Children in Crisis Fund. More information will be posted on our website. Even during these challenging times, our committees have been busy at work to support the many projects of USBBY. We thank all our committee chairs and committee members for their dedicated efforts. For those of you who are not currently members of USBBY, we encourage you to join our organization. You can easily join or renew online on our website. The first order of business is to announce that the minutes of the 2019 annual meeting held in Austin have been approved by a virtual vote of at least 35 members as required by our Constitution. We are thrilled to congratulate our new president-elect, Tucker Stone, who works for Consortium Books, and we welcome our 2 new at-large members, Shanisha Clark, Associate Professor at Salisbury University, and Loretta Henderson, Dean of the College of Education at Eastern Illinois University. Kathy Short and I co-chair the State Ambassadors Program. We currently have 43 state ambassadors who represent 31 states. We appreciate the hard work of our state ambassadors, who share information about USBBY and international children's literature within their states. If you would like to learn more about the State Ambassador Program, please check the USBBY website. Now I am very pleased to introduce Ellen Myrick, who co-chairs with Ann Neely the 2022 IBY Regional Conference in Nashville. Ellen will share with you some very exciting news about a virtual program that we will hold on March 6, 2021, which was the original date of our regional conference before the pandemic necessitated our postponement of the in-person conference for a year until March 4 to 6, 2022. Please save that date. It will be an amazing conference. Ellen,
And yes, as Evie said, March 2022 is when we'll be having our conference, but that does not mean we are not going to have some exciting things happening in 2021. So let's talk about that. We're going to have an all-conference read and an all-conference listen. So this is the first time we've done that with IBY, the IBY Regional Conference, and we're so excited to host two amazing people and two books that have connections to Nashville. Rita Cepetis, The Fountains of Silence, is our all-conference read, and our first all-conference listen is with Dion Graham, who's the narrator of Infinite Hope, which was the nonfiction winner of the Boston Globe Hornbook Award. So the cost is $10 for members, $15 for non-members. And you're thinking, why are we paying for this? Well, the funds were going to benefit the twinning partners you just heard Evie talk about. So those chapters could not exist if it were not for our support. So this is your way, one way, of helping support those efforts. So thank you very much for that. A little bit more information about Ruta and the all-conference read. The Fountains of Silence is a wonderful YA novel, and it will be hosted, that session will be hosted by Nicole Robinson Hamilton from Ingram, and we'll have breakout discussions afterwards. So if you would like to be a host for that, if you have interest in participating in some way, please let Ann Neely know. And Ann, if you want to chime in at any time, I know you're here, please feel free to do so. And let's go on to our all-conference listen with Dion Graham. Dion Graham has been a voice of choice from Booklist, a Golden Voice. He's won numerous audio awards, and he had the pleasure and privilege of narrating Ashley Bryan's Infinite Hope. And Michelle Cobb will be our session moderator for her. She is the executive director of the Audio Publishers Association, and we'll also have breakout groups for that. So if you have an interest in hosting one of those, leading one of those discussions, please let me know, and my email address is down. More about our virtual all-conference listen. The theme of our IBY Regional in March 4 through 6 is the music of words, and it's going to be held at Vanderbilt University. Thank you again, Anne, for your kind offices and getting Vanderbilt to host this for us. We have so many exciting things planned, and if you would like to be a part of this, please let us know. Of course, we'll have the Briley Lecture Honoree, we'll have panels featuring authors and illustrators from around the world, as well as people from Mexico and Canada. We'll have local authors, and then Nashville has an incredibly diverse international community, and we'll be drawing from them for music and food. So this will be a way to delight all the senses while you're here in Nashville. So we hope you'll want to join in the planning fun. Please let us know. And also I wanted to do a special call out for our silent auction, which will begin a few weeks before the actual session, the actual conference will be. And it will be hosted online. And Deb Wooten and Isaac Larson have just done an amazing job gathering, and they have lots of time, so it's going to even get more amazing. Fantastic objects that you'll want to bid on. That'll be a great fundraiser for those twinning partners and other activities of USBBY. So thank you very much. Please watch your Bridges newsletter, our Facebook page, the social media for more information beginning this spring on program proposals and anything to do with our IBY Regional Conference and our all-conference listen and our all-conference read coming up in March 2021. Thanks so much.
Now we would like to recognize the dedicated service of our board member whose term has ended. Karen Perry has ably represented the American Library Association for the past 2 years on the USBBY board. Her outstanding service is deeply appreciated. USBBY is very excited to announce our nominees for the 2022 Hans Christian Andersen Award. As you know, our nominee, Jacqueline Woodson, received the 2020 Hans Christian Andersen Award for writing. Our 2022 nominees are Linda Sue Park for writing and Kadir Nelson for illustration. And now on to the main event. USBBY was honored to have been selected by the IBY Executive Committee to create the poster and message for the 2021 International Children's Book Day. After we reveal the poster to you, we will show the video featuring Liz Page, Executive Director of IBBY, award-winning author Margarita Engel, who wrote the inspirational message for the poster, and Roger Mello, Brazilian illustrator, recipient of the Hans Christian Andersen Award for Illustration, and wonderful friend to USBBY, who created the magnificent art. Following the video, I will return for some final comments. Thank you so much.
My name is Liz Page and I'm talking to you today from the IBBY Secretariat in Basel. I'd like to thank USBBY for this opportunity to say a few words about International Children's Book Day. Jelle Lettman conceived the idea of a global celebration of children's literature way back in 1966. The idea was unanimously approved by the IBBY, and 2nd of April was selected for the day for this celebration. 2nd of April is actually the birthday of Hans Christian Andersen, who was born in 1805 in Denmark. The first official International Children's Book Day was in 1967, and to mark the day, Jelle Lettman wrote a story for the children of the world under the title A Children's Book. It was a success, but IBBY quickly realized this was not really enough to truly inspire children. Therefore, it was decided that the national sections of IBBY, there were then sections established in 28 countries, would be invited to sponsor the day by choosing a motto and sending a message to the children of the world. And very soon, a poster was also required. It was in 1969 when the first poster was launched. Although we don't know the name of the illustrator, the motto says, "Friends across all borders." The message was written by the legendary Swedish author Astrid Lindgren, who wrote a story about the man in the black Spanish cloak, especially for International Children's Book Day. Since then, over 50 posters and messages for the children of the world have been produced and distributed. And it is a very popular project, and each year there's still competition between national sections that would like to sponsor the International Children's Book Day. In this slide, I've selected one from each decade: 1972 from the USA, 1989 from Ghana, 1992 from Venezuela, 2008 from Thailand, and 2011 from Estonia. You can see all the posters and read the messages in the archives on the IBBY website. The posters and messages are produced in the host language, as well as in English, French, German, and Spanish whenever possible. It's a huge undertaking, as you can imagine. In addition, each year several sections translate the message and the poster into their own national language. Here's the 2015 poster sponsored by the Emirati IBBY section, in Khmer from Cambodia, in Spanish from Spain, and in Urdu from Pakistan. The host section sends the posters across the world, and the IBBY Secretariat in Basel also sends to individual requests from people who come to know and love the celebration. IBBY's never insisted that these celebrations only take place on the 2nd of April, but events are loosely centered around the day, some weekly, some monthly, and some just on the day itself. How about a t-shirt in Serbian, Hungarian, and Croatian? Or a bookmark in Farsi from Iran? These versions are based on the 2014 poster sponsored by IBBY Ireland. This next slide shows an International Children's Book Day festival held at the National Library of Cambodia in Phnom Penh. It's a full and exciting day for children was organized by IBBY Cambodia. which included storytelling, games, puppet shows, music, and much, much more. Exhibitions of posters are popular in South Korea, shown here on Nami Island in the open air, and inside in Seoul. The current materials are available on the USBBY website all year round. From January the 1st, 2021, the wonderful USBBY poster and message will be posted on the USBBY website. I hope that you will enjoy hearing from the new posters, creators Roger Mello and Margarita, in the next section. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Margarita Ingo. So honored to have been invited to write the text for the USBBY International Children's Day poster for 2021. The theme is the music of words, and I decided to write a short poem with some musical elements. The music of words. When we read, our minds grow wings. When we write, our fingers sing. Words are drumbeats and flutes on the page, soaring songbirds and trumpeting elephants, rivers that flow, waterfalls tumbling, butterflies that twirl high in the sky. Words invite us to dance. Rhythms, rhymes, heartbeats, hoofbeats and wing beats, old tales and new ones, fantasies and true ones. Whether you are cozy at home or racing across borders toward a new land and a strange language, stories and poems belong to you. When we share words, our voices become the music of the future, peace, joy, and friendship, a melody of hope. La música de las palabras. Cuando leemos, a nuestras mentes les crecen alas. Cuando escribimos, nuestros dedos cantan. Las palabras son percusiones y flautas en la página, pájaros cantores que se elevan y elevantes trompeteros, ríos que fluyen, las volteretas de una cascada, mariposas haciendo piruetas, muy alto en el cielo. Las palabras nos invitan a bailar, ritmos, rimas, latidos, galopes, aleteos, cuentos nuevos y viejos, fantasía y realidad. Tanto si te encuentras a gusto en casa, como si estás cruzando fronteras hacia un nuevo hogar y una lengua extraña, las historias y los poemas te pertenecen. Al compartir palabras, nuestras voces se convierten en la música del futuro, en paz, alegría y amistad. Una melodía de esperanza. For me, peacemaking words are personal. I come from a complicated family of refugees, immigrants, and people who have decided to stay wherever they were born. I choose to love them all equally. Poetry and stories help me feel hopeful. Rhymes, rhythms, and even the open spaces between words on a page create echoes in my mind like the beautiful sounds you hear for a long time after ringing the bell. Language is music. It flows in a way that is both natural and human. When we share our stories and poems, our minds grow wings, fly, and meet in midair. We begin to understand each other. We become neighbors instead of strangers. When I was invited to write the text for this poster, I knew it was both an incredible honor to have my words illustrated by Roger Mello and an immense challenge. How could I fit the music words theme into a poem simple enough for children to enjoy, yet meaningful enough to convey empathy and hope? I am the child of travel. My mother is from Cuba and my father was from California. I was raised in Los Angeles, but I was fortunate to spend summers with the extended family in Trinidad de Cuba and on a nearby farm that inspired my lifelong love of the island's culture, music, and tropical nature. I'm going to read a poem from my verse memoir, Enchanted Air, page 11, No Place on the Map. That's this book here. And it is available in Spanish also as Aire Encantado. After those first soaring summers, each time we fly back to our everyday lives in California, one of my two selves is left behind. The girl I would be if we lived on Mommy's island instead of Dad's continent. On maps, Cuba is crocodile shape. But when I look at a flat paper outline, I cannot see the beautiful farm on that crocodile's belly. I can't find the palm trees or bright coral beaches where flying fish leap, gleaming like rainbows. Sometimes I feel like a rolling wave of the sea, a wave that can only belong in between the two solid shores. Sometimes I feel like a bridge or a storm. Travel restrictions changed everything. By the time I was a teenager, it was easier for a U.S. citizen to walk on the moon than to visit relatives in Cuba. The island suddenly existed for me only within the poetic realm of memory and imagination. Now, when people ask why I write verse novels instead of prose, the answer is simple. Poetry makes me happy. The beauty of language keeps me hopeful, no matter how sorrowful the subject. Poetry is a bridge between emotions and history. It's a bridge between cultures. Poetry is interactive, a call and response song that flows back and forth between poets and readers. Poetry is an experience, an exploration. Like music, it is meant to be enjoyed, not just analyzed. I never ask children what a poem means. Instead, I ask, how does the poem make you feel? Thank you. Gracias.
Hello, it's wonderful to be here with you. I'm Roger Bello, illustrator, author, and I would like to say hello to all of you, librarians, reading promoters, teachers, EB members all over the world. It was such a delight and honor. I was invited by Alice Vance. I was invited by IBBY USBBY, to do the design and illustration for the amazing poem by Margarita Engel, The Music of the Words. So I am a person deeply related to music. I think that reading is about rhythm. It's about feeling the music of the passing, the pacing of the pages, and when you relate with time. So the rhythm that the reader takes on each and every step on the narration line is the making of a music. It's the making of your own interpretation of the other. So Margarita Engel's text was beautiful because for me, the text, the poem was talking about music, was talking about rhythm and poetry. It was talking about the knowing that music and poems. I did a book on Enreduana, the first author in the world, first philosopher, first many things. And she was already a person that was relating with time. She was relating with concepts, with she could make gods that were far away, many gods, human. She could humanize by including her point of view, by including the poem in the poem, the pronoun I. So I and Eduana have this new dress, and I go meet Inanna, the lady of the largest heart. So every sound on a poem, like the beautiful poem that Margarita Engel did originally for ICBD, is is a new concept. It's a new possibility of facing children in the world. So we are living in a moment where each and small phrase, each and small word, the big words that you see in the wall, they have the same strength that the tablets had 4,000 years ago. So I can feel Margarita Engel's power through a message, through the visuality of her text in this poem. So I decided I did lots of layouts, lots of roughs, and for me it was clear that the color of the background would be pink, because pink is a color that, you know, for me colors have no meaning, but pink is a color that was persecuted. It is in Brazil, for example, in many other countries, because it's a color sometimes that it's associated with gender, and we don't know why. Because in India, the pink and the orange, these two colors, they are sacred colors. So we can understand that by reading the presence of the color, each reader does his or her own color. You understand? So everything was amazing. And then the animals. I love animals as as much as I love music and as I love literature and poetry. And so it was very clear to me that I had to have an elephant, and I had to have a white king vulture from Brazil and from South America, and I had to have camels. And I had to have animals from all over the world, all together, and we had to have a violin, and also we had to have the newest sound box on the shoulder of the boy in the middle of the street of any big city and surroundings of the city, suburbs of the city, anywhere in the world. So during I know that the history of ICBD, International Children's Book Day poster, is such a strong and effective way to get into every place. We know that I am a lover of IBBY. I feel like a member. I really feel like, because it has everything to do with what I believe in through Yella Letman's philosophy. That is a philosophy of inclusion. It's pink and orange philosophy. So everything was supposed to be in that poster, but yet it should be like music. It should be something that you could feel the rhythm, and it could say to you, okay, we have many colors. Those colors are saturated colors, strong colors, but there's something on choosing each color. Each color you choose is a color less that you have to choose. So choosing colors and adding colors is not about just throwing colors randomly. No, each color is thought as a soul. So as the soul that you have to feel the sadness of the music to be able to sing or to play music in soul, as you do in Fado in Portugal. So it was very clear that there is rhythm, there are many colors, there is poetry, street poetry, but there is sadness as well, because it's a moment where we have to open our ears and mind. We have to open our, and not talking only about sound, but we have to open our perception to what is happening in nowadays world. So it's a great honor. I am an IBBY fan. I'm totally inspired by IBBY. And when I was illustrating, as I tell you, I had to do many rocks. I had to do many layouts. All the time, I was thinking about Yella Lefman, even the music of her name, Yella Lefman, something that is in my mind, it's in the street, it's everywhere. And I think that EB has this amazing possibility of surviving like music over the plants and trees and walls and getting there. To create this illustration, I used lots of mixed media, lots of collage, and I said definitely I have to use what I love to use, that's wall paint, because wall paint is something that is free. You don't need to have the best stationery in the world, but everybody is painting houses everywhere, and this is very good that people love colors that sometimes are considered kitsch or not, they are not fancy, and I am not a fancy person. For me, I think that it's going to be fancy in the end, but you have to be yourself. I always say that when I go around countries like Brazil or Spain or India, the people, I love black, you wearing black, but people know how to mix the colors. I don't know, maybe the sun is shining so much. And I think it's amazing that all over the world, we see people bringing different colors and different possibilities. So it's about freedom. The freedom to choose a color, but not choose because you like, but because you feel the pain, you feel the soul. So I was painting and I was mixing colors. I was trying to get to the for me the right pink, the most appealing pink, and then the other colors would appear from this choice. And so I since we are in the middle of a pandemic, things got, the pandemic makes us rethink ourselves, even as author of an illustration, because we are far away, we cannot buy the biggest paper on earth, and the poster was as big as Vaticano State, and I started to paint, and I did it on parts, as if I was gluing it in the wall. So it was amazing, because for the first time I used a computer in a way that I usually don't use. But it was a side technology for me, because the ink, the materiality, the physicality of the ink was there. I needed to feel that it was like a wall, that there were many textures. And I was researching on people that glue posters. When you glue the poster, you move the poster. Poster is a very strong, as a t-shirt, way of communication. So, and it is a way to reach children all over the world. It is a way to give back to the fish, to the poster, the voice of poetry, of street poetry that poster had. And in the rhythm of Margarita Engel's words, I know she's from, her family is from Cuba, so that was very strong for me as well. Everything is involved. So I know that there is a voice from there. Cuba is a place that I love so much. It's a place that struggles. It's a symbol of how arts and science can resist in a world of exclusion. So, doing this poster was all the time a way to connect to the reader, no matter where the child is in the world. So, fantastic. So, talking about Children's Book Day, which is very important, very significant for me. Hans Christian Andersen was himself a person of movement, a nomad. He was going all over the world with theater, with arts, and a book in his hand, and all the time with an idea. And so it's wonderful to be able, through narrative arts, visual arts, and poetry, which is also visual, to bring hope wherever we go. So a poster is like a book, is a flying nomadic object. So it's going to interact with children all over the world. I can imagine first this poster in Nami Island, the place, amazing place that changed my life, the life of people like Junko Yokota and so many other friends. And I can really strongly think about Nami and Korea Colors and Mr. Kang, Buryan and Nami family, to Min family. And I also think about all these dreamers that know that it's hard, it's difficult to make these dreams fly away and come true and be possible. People like the sponsors in the Yamada Bee Farm. I would like to pay a tribute to Zohre, which also we go often to Nami Island. She has been a jury with us, and Anastasia from Archipova from Russia also does a wonderful job. But the Read With Me of Zohre, I have been to her foundation, and I saw the children from Iran, how we could see posters, other International Children Books Day posters, and how those posters and illustrations and text from artists, so strong voices, they could be anywhere. They could also be in Japan, and I want also to pay a tribute to Asahi newspaper. And I know it's a net. It's a net of people that make this poetry, make this beat possible, make the rhythm and poetry that inspired rap. This idea of is the same idea that Homer did and Hedwana did a long time ago. So Fernando Pessoa. So it's amazing to be there with Alice Vance, with USBBY, thank you so much for inviting me. And I feel like a member of USBBY too. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, IBBY. And let's sing that poem all together.
Thank you to Liz, to Margarita, and to Roger for making this wonderful, wonderful video for us and for USBBY to share with you. Some of you may have seen in the chat that Liz, who is with us today, as is Roger and Margarita, and we're delighted that they have joined us. Liz mentioned about the scarf that she was wearing. So I wanted to tell you a little about that. 10 Hans Christian Andersen illustrators created a beautiful scarf for IBBY for a fundraiser. And information about that can be found on the IBBY website. The poster and the message will soon be available for download on the USBBY website. Additional resources about International Children's Book Day will also be available there. We want to thank you so much for joining us here today. In a few days, the video of the meeting will be available on the USBBY website. So if you want to return to it and to the wonderful video that Liz, Margarita, and Roger made, you will be able to see it again or share it with others. We welcome again your membership and active participation in USBBY. All of us on the board of USBBY wish you and your families good health in the coming weeks, all the best in these very challenging times, and a joyful, although perhaps quite different than usual, Thanksgiving. We are certainly thankful for all of you. Thank you again for joining us.